We all knew it was coming. The day of reckoning. The day of joining the Horde. The day that I played Beast Boy Cerato. 32 Degrees over on Twitch was kind enough to nest me in after I requested a cerato egg in the official Discord, and my life as actual cannibal Sarah LaBeouf began. It wouldn't be long before I'd be able to feed myself, but until then I would need to gain nutrition from my parents. As usual in Avrima though, the peace and comfort of being protected by a family wouldn't last forever. Soon after I reached juvenile stage and could eat on my own, word came that multiple adult ceratos were inbound. I prepared to flee. If the adults were overwhelmed and killed, my siblings and I would be the next targets. All too soon, trouble arrived. But there were not only 3 other ceratos. There were 5. And an adult stego. We could only watch from within the tall grass as chaos reigned just down the hill from our nest. I couldn't tell who was winning, but as the sounds of battle died down for a moment, 32 let us know that our mother was dead and the others were missing in action. Not good. I started running in his direction, hoping that we might still make it out with an adult. But the aggressors had used their gastro healing and tracked him down. Now alone, my remaining sibling and I decided it was best to get out of the area. There was food here, but the risk of being caught and killed was too great. We had to go. Eventually, we caught up with the only other remaining sibling in Highlands. Now we simply had to survive to adulthood. This was honestly not too difficult. We spent much of our growth scavenging in delta rivers before moving toward East Pond, where we had hoped to find some Tenantos or Carnos lurking about. Little did we know, we actually passed our parents as we ran along the beach. Granted, they were now young Tenos hiding in the bushes, and we didn't see them, but they most certainly saw us. We continued living off the death that littered much of the island. Truly acting as the scavengers we were, if I'm being honest. Every corpse in the far distance was fair game. For 3 of us, we needed as much food as we could possibly find to keep our stomachs full. Eventually, though, fresh and rotting corpses alike had run out. We were not quite fully grown yet, but we were hungry, and anyone and anything we thought we could handle together was now fair game. We'd been stalking a pair of adult ceratos for a short time, preparing ourselves for what we believed would be the fight of our lives. If we worked together, we could take them, even if they were larger than us. One of them had fallen into a hole. Unfortunate. The other spotted us and immediately climbed down the rocks. Not worth the risk, but since he couldn't go back up, we figured he'd have to come down. Upon us reaching the beach below, though, the other one got the unstuck command to work and was free. Well, since the first was somewhere on the rocks and out of reach, the freshly freed friend was now fair game. Poor guy. I honestly felt bad killing him, but at this point we didn't have many other options for food to hold over the trio of brothers. We finished his corpse, bones and all, before making our way back to the delta. As we stalked along the river, we spotted a small spat going on the other side. A solo cerato was facing off against 2 tenantos. Initially, the plan was to risk crossing to help him. But when he ran away from the tenos, we decided that the safer fight would be to target the injured cerato instead. He did the best he could, but honestly, in a 3v1, he didn't really stand a chance, especially with his prior injuries. We ate and looked for the tenantos, but my free time was coming to an end. I logged for the day, saying goodbye to the brothers that had been with me from our chaotic beginning until full adulthood. When I logged back in the next day, I was completely on my own. I knew that my best chance would be to avoid other ceratos as much as possible. I had been the pack hunter yesterday. Today, I would likely be the target instead. As I posed for a photo op in the morning light, I heard a family of tenantos nearby. Oh my. I was starving. Just one of the adults would get my life back on track. But I'd settle for one of the babies if need be, simply to keep myself from starving long enough to find something else. At first, I only saw one. That wouldn't be a bad option, but I decided to play it safe. I know I'd heard more. Better to observe and get an idea of what I was walking into before racing in with my teeth bared. I heard a second adult. Okay, understandable, likely a nested family of babies. 2 adults was risky business. And then, after several long minutes of observation, I saw them attacking something in the water. Was that another cerato? I wasn't sure, but I decided to cross to the side the tenantos were on and see if I could get a closer look. Definitely a nested family. There were quite a few babies, only 2 adults. I say only, but 2 adult tenos was still incredibly dangerous. There was a carcass beside the water. I guessed it was whatever I'd seen them attacking. Very likely cerato, I was sure. But the likelihood of the tenos allowing me to march in and eat that carcass was low. I decided that a fight was going to be my best option. I could smash and grab one of the juveniles, but if they were too heavy I wouldn't be able to run away with my kill. And with 1 adult on the other side of the river, I decided I should stage an ambush. As quietly as I could, I crept around through the bushes to get as close as possible to the adult on my side of the river. With so many juveniles, I knew I couldn't wait long here. I had to move fast. By some crazy twist of fate, a small dino lunged at one of the babies at the same moment I began my attack, and I ended up stumbling over the entire crew of juveniles as I aimed for their parent. Whoops. The fight was on. I targeted the one I had originally aimed for. I only had to take one of them down. Maybe the other would then back off and lead their progeny away to safety. When my target crossed, however, it wasn't worth the risk of being tail slammed upon following. I turned my sight on the other. Taking a couple of hits, I had to think fast. The other hadn't been grabbed, and he wasn't camping the shoreline. I went after him. He was weaker, and I needed food fast. Of course, the female wasn't going to let me get away that easily. She followed, and he crossed again. Dang it. I guess I was going to have to face the female Tenanto and hope for the best at this point. I'd heard a dino try to grab her as she crossed, and I wasn't willing to risk being grabbed myself. With my stamina at half, I tried to take a deep breath and move more deliberately. Running everywhere in a panicked form of a dance only gets so far. Being out of stamina is a death sentence. As she moved to the shoreline after taking another bite, the dino bit her, and she fell. Ooh, you little stinker. That's mine! He was small, and I chased him back into the water just in time to see the male Tenanto coming back. Ah, dang. This wasn't over. He went down as well, and I could finally eat. It was a rough hunt, but I had survived and would eat well. Sometime later, after hanging around in the tunnel to escape the pounding rain for a while, I headed back toward the area where I'd hunted the Tennos. There was another hanging around somewhere who had spotted me earlier with my kills, and was looking for a fight with me. I wasn't sure where they were hiding now, but I intended to seek them out now that I was beginning to get hungry again. I didn't get all the way there though, before I came across a dilo. Now, dilo venom has been working better recently, and that stuff is downright evil in its current form, so I wasn't taking any chances. I attacked on sight. No sense getting jumped later. The rain finally ended, and I crossed the river and passed through the arch into the area where I'd last seen the Tenno I was hunting. I could see something ahead, but in the fog I wasn't completely sure what I was seeing. Was it the Tenno? I moved into the bushes, unsure, wanting to get a closer look. And then I heard exactly what I didn't want to hear. Cerato footsteps. right beside the rock. Crap. I couldn't decide if they'd seen me. I was just about to call out and chat, hope that maybe they'd be friendly and want a third. But then the female prepared a charge bite. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and comment your thoughts below. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Also, check out my merch. The link is in the description. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.